Hi, my name is Ben Sutter III, and I'm founder and owner of BS3 Radio. I've been podcasting for 5 years, and with BS3 Radio, it has grown to over 46,000 listens and downloads. I've helped hundreds of people to start a podcast by giving them the knowledge, tools, and confidence to be successful. Now I'm here to help you do the same with BS3 coaching. So let's build a successful podcast. I will be your podcast coach. We'll be able to work one-on-one. I won't be giving you a booklet and just telling you to look over it, but we'll be working one-on-one, side by side, to either help build up a successful podcast or to take your podcast to the next level. So click the link above or below to check out the pricing. I look forward to working with you, and God bless. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Fantasy Football Finale Show. Man, we've been doing this for the past, probably since week 8 or so. So this is the finale. Most of the fantasy football seasons are already over with. So this is our final recap. We do have some that are doing daily fantasy, so FanDuel, DraftKings. So we'll be taking your questions tonight. We have a great show. First off, we'll be talking with Marc Saulino of Statement Games. It's a different phase on fantasy. We got Cowboys and Giants coming up tomorrow. I'm a Cowboys fan, so I'm looking forward to hopefully them getting the win. Then we will have Courtney Harden and we will have Chris Morning. Will be coming on the show. We'll be talking fantasy football. And if you guys want to join in as well, I'm going to post the link so you guys can join in. If you have the opportunity to jump on, it's via StreamYard. You just have to have your phone or a laptop, and you can join in. We'll be talking fantasy football. So I wanted to open that up to you guys. Also, I got some great news. If you're watching on YouTube, the YouTube channel is now monetized. And there goes my green screen that went out. Normally it does this every episode. I got to get a stronger camera. But we are now monetized on YouTube. So that means if you are watching live, you can give us some stars. It's a program that YouTube has to where if you like what you're watching and you want to support, there are ways that you can do that in the monetization program. So that's a big thing, man. A lot of people strive to get to that point. So you can be fans and you can give us superstars or super chats. You'll be able to see that as you're watching. So that's a new feature on to BSC Radio and what we're doing. So I want to thank everybody for the support, man. This has really been a great, opportunity for us to be able to connect and for us to be able to, grow. And so you can see down at the bottom, it says, show your support for BSC Radio. You see the $. Also, you see the custom emoji. So BSC Radio is upgrading. We're doing big things, and we want to continue to grow. Also, looking towards next year, we're going to do a fantasy football season league. So what I want you to do is put your email. If you want to join the league going into next year for 2021-2022, you can put your email in the chat wherever you are. I'm not one that does stuff for money. I do DraftKings sometimes, but I'm not really into, collecting people's money and doing all that kind of stuff. So it'll basically be for fun, for bragging rights. And, we'll do, something every single week. We'll do the show. We'll get everybody together. That's the plan for next year. So if you want to join the league for next year, put your email wherever you're watching or listening, or if you're fans of me on social media, well, this is the easiest way. Go to BSC Radio on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or you can put it here on YouTube or wherever you're watching. Give me your email. I will sign you up so we can run with it. All right, let's get to some of the comments. Like I said, we'll have Marc Saulino coming on here in just a minute. But shout out to my man Scott Catherine 19. He was first in the building. I don't have a soundtrack or anything like that. Shout out to my man Louis Hollish. Also, shout out to StreamYard, man. StreamYard stepping it up with some new features. As you can see with the chat, it looks a little bit different there. He said, "Let's get lit." I'm ready. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming that's Austin. He says, "Love it." Shout out to Rough Buff. His government name, Kevin Sanford. Shout out to Rough Buff. He said, "I sucked." Hey, don't worry. We will definitely get into that because I was 12th in one league and I got second in another. So I feel you. I'm going to be doing DraftKings for this last week, so we'll see what happens. Louis Hollis is finna be a movie. Get that bread. Let's go, says Scott Catherine. Says, my guy, appreciate you guys for all the support, man. This is something that we just kind of started. Honestly, we just started this show on a whim. You know, we started this fantasy football thing on a whim. Excuse me, because I've been doing a show called Late Night with BS3, and I figured, hey, people do fantasy, so let's do a fantasy show. And we did it that first time, man, and it blew up. So we're going to continue to do it each and every week, especially going into next year. And then when we have the league, then it'll even be bigger because then we can talk about how we did each week. You know, we'll be in a message group. I'll set up a message group for all of us. That'll be dope. Great podcast network. Thank you for that. Overton Claiborne, my man, talking with OC. The dude is great at what he does as well. You know, we are all doing great things in our respective areas and what we do. Louis Hollis, thank you for the email. Talking with OC, he's going to join as well. Shout out to a question from Clayton Witt. Man, we getting on the questions in early. Hurts or Tannehill this week? I like that question. I definitely do like that question. Now, Jalen Hurts is coming off some weeks. He's been playing extremely well. I'm going to give him all the props in the world, and I think he is the future for the Eagles. I think people can be critical or whatever of him or of Carson Wentz, but the fact is Carson Wentz has not been playing good this year, and you can't fault Hurts for taking advantage of his opportunity. The Eagles are playing Washington. That Washington defense is a little tough. On the flip side, the Titans are playing the Texans. If I had to pick one, I would go with Tannehill, even though I hate to do that because I'm not really the biggest fan of Tannehill. But I think in this type of game, in this situation, I would go Tannehill. Do you think the Cowboys will get in? Yes, I do think they will. I think they're going to back in. I've said this numerous times, though. I do not think it's going to matter because the Cowboys are not, I repeat, they are not a good team. Just because we had a couple of great moments does not mean we are a good team. And they're going to back into the playoffs because I believe they're going to win this week. I hate to say it, but I believe they're going to win this week. They're going to back into the playoffs. This happens all the time with the Cowboys, is that they find a way to get into the playoffs. But just because you got in the playoffs does not mean that you are a good team. Obviously, they're going to be 7-9 if they do get in. They got to beat the Giants, obviously, no surprise there. And the Washington football team has to lose, which I think that'll happen. So I think they're going to get in. All right, we got Marc, the CEO of Statement Games. He is coming on the show. Let me bring him on right now. Marc, how you doing?
What's going on, man? How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Good to see you. It's been a minute.
All right, yeah, it's been a while. I do gotta apologize a little bit here. I don't know what the heck is going on here. I'm kind of doing some stuff from my basement, and I got a couple of smoke alarms downstairs here. And for some reason, there's like this annoying beep that these things are kind of going off every minute or so.
Yeah.
So if you do hear like this little chirp or beep, I do apologize. It is me. There's nothing wrong with the recording studio. So hopefully I'll not be that much of a distraction or annoyance to you, your show, and your audience.
Okay, no problem. So welcome, Marc. He is the CEO of Statement Games, and Statement Games is a different take on fantasy. With fantasy sports, it's normally a score. It's normally like, a heads up or the best score. But Statement Games is different. So I want you to explain that to the viewers and listeners.
Sure. I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and tell my story a little bit here. I really can't stress this enough. www.statementgames.com, or by simply finding us in your favorite app store by searching on Statement Games Fantasy Sports. We're just a game. We're a free-to-play sports gaming platform. We've actually, this has actually been a while, so this might become news to you. I can officially say that we've invented a new form of fantasy sports. I've received a patent on the system, the process that we've created around Statement Games this past, August. So it's a little bit different. What we do as a company is we create games around specific sporting events. So, for example, you got, the Giants and the Cowboys tomorrow. The people who want to play our game, we actually present them with a list of anywhere between 50 to 55 different game and player props, or hence the company name statements, that are specific to that sporting event. Dalton over under 275 yards passing. Wayne Gallman on the Giants over under 65 yards, rushing. Dallas defense over under 2.5 sacks. You go through the list, and as you review the list, you have to pick 10 props or 10 statements. And as you make your 10 picks, you rank them in order of confidence from 10 through 1. So as the game plays out, if your number 10 pick becomes correct, you get 10 points. If 9 through 1 are incorrect, well, now you just have a total of 10 points. You play in a league of anywhere between 8 to 12 people. The person with the most points from correct picks at the end of that Cowboys-Giants game wins. Like I said, it's a free-to-play game. You're trying to finish in either first, second, or third in any contest that you actually play in. In doing so, you'll receive what we call Statement Games coins, or platform credits. It's your job to build up your account balance with as many of these tokens or coins as you possibly can. And when you're ready, you simply exchange them for a cash gift card of your choice. So we have a whole reward system at statementgames.com. Anything from NFL Shop, Nike, Under Armour, Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, Pizza Hut. You take those coins that you've won, and eventually you just trade them in for a cash gift card of your choice. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a better understanding of who we are and how our free-to-play gaming platform is positioned.
Yeah, and I've played it before, so I can definitely vouch for it, that it is legit, and it is something that I believe if you play fantasy sports, if you enjoy fantasy, you'll definitely enjoy it. And it's picking, like he said, statements. So this player do this, the defense will do that. And I think it's a really great concept, and you're the first to do it. So I definitely agree. This is something that you have invented. And that's a really good feeling.
Hey, you know what? I'll even make a deal with you as well as the people who are listening to this show. You can find us on social media. It's at Statement Games. Statement Games is all one word. This is not something that I'm going to promote on our accounts or our active user base here. This is for just the people who are following you and listening to your show. If you're willing to try Statement Games, and again, free to play game, and you play the Cowboys Giants game, which goes off tomorrow at 1:00, right? Anybody who maybe drops a comment in this show, or I guess engages with us anytime between now and kickoff. If you engage with us and play that Giants Cowboys game, if you go 10 for 10 with your picks, I'm going to cut you a check for $250. How does that sound?
Wow, that sounds legit and great.
Got to go 10 for 10 with your picks. Now this is backfired me on a couple of times here.
Right.
As it turns out, in the past week, there were 6 different users who have gone 10 for 10 in various different tournaments that we've had up over the course of the week. So, yes, I make that offer because it's a long shot and the odds are in my favor, and I'm trying to bribe you to try my game here. But with that said, this does happen here. So, hey, you know what? Think of it as getting a couple of extra scratch offs in your stocking for the holidays and things like that.
Yeah.
You control your own destiny and just playing a game.
Exactly. As we're talking about Cowboys and Giants, it's a very interesting NFC East, as I call it, the NFC least this year, with all the teams struggling. None of them are over 500. Give me your take real quick on this NFC East for this year.
I mean, you can kind of take it from team kind of by team, and hey, look, you know what with Prescott kind of going out for the Cowboys here. Completely different team, different kind of mindset from a Dallas perspective. I know that there's a lot of high expectations, but look, new coach coming in here, COVID and things like that here. I think you can kind of see now that the team's really kind of meshing and gelling together. The Giants. Like the Cowboys, very kind of up and down year, playing kind of really well. Have kind of taken a little bit of a back step in the past couple of weeks here. Really haven't been competitive in the games that they're actually playing in. But again, I guess you can kind of point to some of the growing pains and struggles of a young team. Team isn't necessarily the same if Jones can't run the ball. Complete shock and surprise from a Philadelphia perspective. And last but not least here, I mean, who would have freaking ever thought or made the bold prediction in September at the start of the 2020 NFL season here that come week 17 here that the Washington Football Club, football team, whatever you want to call them, would actually have a realistic shot of making the playoffs and winning the freaking division should they win that last game of the season. So, look, shocking news. Parted ways with a number 1 draft pick a very kind of short time ago. I don't think either team in that particular game will have the ability to move the ball. I think you can not be impressed with Washington's defense. So, least bad teams here, but I don't think it's completely putrid and down when you're taking a look at the deck that all 4 of those teams were actually dealt with as the 2020 season went along here. So, hey, look, You're a Dallas guy. I'm up here in New York here, so I'm a Giants season ticket holder. So our division is our division. What are you going to do?
Right,
From a Giants perspective here, I actually gauge the success of this team kind of taking place on 2 things here. And that is, look, I'm tired of losing to the Eagles. I'm tired of losing to the Cowboys. So if the Giants had the ability to beat the Eagles as well as the Cowboys and had a couple of other meaningful games kind of in between, you take that as a positive of growth here. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's hey, when you have a chance to watch a meaningful football game in week 17 here, when you've been probably the worst football team in the past 3 years. I'm not going to hang my hat on the record here, but I'm looking forward to it. As a young team to get that experience to play in a game like this here. You take it and you run with it.
Yeah, and really with the Giants, I think they were shot. As soon as Saquon Barkley went down, it was almost like all the hopes deflated. And then, Daniel Jones played well. I'm going to give him his props. He did get tripped by a ghost that one game.
Hey, they did score on that drive, though.
They did. But you got to give props. As they're a young team, they got a new coach. I mean, a lot of these teams, all of them, but the Eagles in this division have new coaches. So there's development. There's going to be growth. There's rookies. I mean, there's a lot of different factors. And don't forget COVID, which has really affected every last one of these teams. But whatever team gets in, I've said this before, I don't think either one of them is going to win. So it's really just a matter of you got into the playoffs this year. Congratulations. But that doesn't.
I wouldn't be shocked if the Cowboys won a home playoff game and in the first kind of around here. I mean, think about it. I mean, even you win the division, you're playing at home the first week of the playoffs. So, and it's a wild card. I mean, would I be completely shocked if I'm not sure who they would play, but if the Cowboys beat the Bears or Tampa Bay or who's the other wild card team in the least? I mean, they're playing kind of at home. You'll have kind of fans in the building, and between your 3 wide receivers, your offense can move the ball and they can actually score. So it's not going to be a surprise to, hey, once you get in, like Ezekiel Elliott said here, I mean, what's the difference of winning the division at 7-9 or 14-2? It's the same. It's the same process, and everything kind of resets to zero once you kind of in the playoffs. Do I think the Cowboys will make it to the Super Bowl or win anything significant? Probably not. But
probably not.
Yeah. Do I think they can win a home playoff game if they get in here? Absolutely, especially in the first round.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. I'm leaning towards no, but the Cowboys surprise me. They do it all the time, so I can't be.
They're peaking at the right time.
Exactly.
I mean, granted, it's.
Yeah, and it's just like any tournament. If you get hot during the tournament, like who knows what could happen. Andy Dalton's, it seems like it's starting to click, and he has weapons. We talk about CeeDee Lamb. We talk about Amari Cooper. We talk about Michael Gallup. Those three guys could be number ones anywhere. So if you can just get the ball to them, if Zeke is close to what Zeke normally is, which this past game, he kind of looks like he kind of hit that next gear. He also looks slimmer. So I don't know. I think he's been battling injuries too. But Tony Pollard's been a big step up, I think, for the Cowboys this year. Just on a really down, and it's just an awkward year, I think, for the entire team. And the defense, injury after injury. I don't know if I don't even know if Mike McCarthy was the right choice, but I was just happy that Garrett was gone, so I'm okay. But the defense was struggling. They seem to be somewhat figuring things out. So I mean, there's positives and there's negatives. I gotta ask you though, what is the fan base feeling with Jason Garrett being with the Giants?
You know what? I would say it's kind of mixed. I think when you take a look at what he's done with the offense, given that, line was very up and down, kind of playing better. They're doing kind of, better, but line not necessarily kind of as stable. Barkley kind of going down, very limited in terms of weapons at the wide receiver slot here. Evan Ingram, the tight end here, superstar 1 week here, guy who drops the ball kind of the next week here. So when you watch the Giants, I'm not sure if you watch like a lot of games here, it looks like an old Cowboys offense. It's a lot of, establish the run, short, 3, 4 yard, 5 yard passes, and where you kind of, some days you're pulling your hair out saying, hey, look, fucking throw the ball down the field already.
Right.
But then when you kind of seeing your quarterback get sacked like 8 times a game here, it's like, all right, well, now you know why they can't throw the ball down the field.
Right.
So exactly. I like the way that he's incorporated and utilized Daniel Jones's running ability into some of the plays that he's actually called. So am I ecstatic with Garrett? No, but am I liking what I'm seeing with the deck that he's been dealt to play with to run this offense? Yeah, it's not bad, but then again, I mean, look, I think the only time that the Giants have scored over 30 points in a football game was against Dallas in that week 3 or 4 game. That
right.
Was,
you're exactly right.
That's just not the way that they're doing. They're trying to establish more of the run, ball control, a lot of short passes. So it's hard to put up like a lot of points, and it's frustrating because you actually see the team, go on these 85-yard drives, and then boom, like that one turnover, it kills everything. And you're like, what the hell? I just watched this whole game here. You only got 10 points on the board, but they've been freaking moving the ball all day long here. It's kind of like the Cowboys last year,
Right. Yeah.
So that's what it looks like.
Yeah. Let me give a quick shout out to Mason Dubis. Thank you for coming through. He says, hi, congrats. I love fantasy. Awesome. StatementGames.com. Make sure to try that out. Also,
check it out, Mason.
Check it out. Also, we got T1GMK. He says JOMS. I'm not sure what that means. You might have to clarify that. But Giants and Cowboys tomorrow. Do you have some statements that you want to share that the listeners and viewers would be interested in to kind of get them appetized a little bit?
I guess kind of with that said here, and I know that the Cowboys are a little bit shaky kind of on defense, but given the magnitude of the game, and at some point I would imagine the Giants are going to have to move the ball because I do believe the Cowboys will put up some points in this game here. I do like the pick of the Dallas Cowboys defense over 2.5 sacks as a pick on statement games. I like that one a lot. I've been kind of riding picks like this for a couple of weeks now. I've got burned, especially from a Giants kind of perspective, but obviously from a Giants kind of perspective, if they're going to keep this game close, they're kind of going to be competitive here. They have to have some type of run game here. So I do like the pick of Wayne Gallman. I mean, I just need him to go over 65 yards rushing. So I kind of I like that pick. Let's see.
I think he can do that too, especially against his defense.
Yeah, so those are the two that stick out in my mind. I gotta pull it up here, but I think you're kind of getting. I think you're getting like Pollard and Elliott combined, maybe And I think, combined, I think they just have to break like 100 yards rushing or something like that. Don't quote me on that if you want to double check it.
Yeah.
But from that kind of perspective, it just seems that, Elliott has the ability to pop off, for some Cowboys running back has the ability to pop off a big kind of play. If you're making that pick, you're just kind of hoping that it's not on a screen pass, but on a running play.
Yeah. I mean, I think that when it comes down to it, the running defenses have went off on the Cowboys throughout this entire year. When a running back plays the Cowboys, they normally go over 100 yards. Now, they've been playing a little bit better here and there, but it should be a great game because the Giants want to be the spoiler and the Cowboys want to back into the playoffs. It's almost like in the conversation that's going around here is like, is Jerry Jones going to just be okay with how this season went just because they back into the playoffs? Which you can kind of overlook a lot of the issues that you had just by saying, oh, well, we went into the playoffs, so let's not think about our secondary. Let's not think about the linebackers. Let's not think about what we're going to do with Dak. So they got a lot of questions in the offseason, regardless of how the season goes. But who do you think's going to win the game? You don't have to give me a score, but who do you think's going to win?
Oh, the Giants. What do you expect me to say here? I got my helmet. I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go. You're ready to go.
Look, it's more. But again, I'm picking kind of with my heart, and it's more from a perspective. I mean, it's fucking 7 games in a row. The Giants have lost to the Cowboys 7 times in a row. And making it like, even kind of like, Judge was talking about it from the Giants' perspective. We can't look and think about like the playoffs and about like, Washington is kind of doing. I mean, we can't even think about, anything but like the first quarter of this Cowboys game. This organization has lost to the Cowboys 7 times in a row. That's the biggest kind of like, thing that's going on here. So even in terms of making strides towards like, next year, you have to show that you have the ability to compete in the division. You can't let this kind of Cowboys team kind of own them, which they've done for the past 3.5 years.
Yeah, and you cannot.
But with that said, and from a picking or a betting kind of perspective, until the Giants can actually prove that they can beat the Cowboys here, you can't bet or pick the Giants to actually win the game. I would imagine that most Cowboy fans and most unbiased football fans would be picking and should be picking the Cowboys to win this game.
Yeah.
I think it's only 1.5 points. I think so. It's basically kind of like a pick 'em. Like you said, you got the 3 kind of stud wide receivers as and Dalton's a backup quarterback. But look, this guy has been a staple with a football team for over 11 years. It's not like it's I don't view Dalton as a true backup quarterback like leading this team. He's a professional quarterback that has some kind of ability and has shown that he has ability over the course of multiple years.
Yeah, true. Very true. Well, thank you for coming on tonight. Thank you for reaching out. I'm glad.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. This is fun.
Glad we're able to do this. We'd love to have you on again. This is the regular time of the show, so Saturday nights at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. So definitely would love to get you on the show.
Yeah, we'll keep it on. Maybe we can get like a Mavericks Knicks or Mavericks Nets, something like that coming on here. Or who knows? I mean, maybe we're still talking football in 3 or 4 weeks. We'll have to see what happens.
Exactly. Well,
hey,
Marc,
thanks for having me. Happy New Year, everybody at statementgames.com. Hope you have a chance to check it out. Please, follow us from the perspective of if you got comments or feedback on what you like about our game or what we can kind of be doing better. This is why I kind of like getting my story out there. It's interacting with guys like Ben and people like you, just an effort to see how I can improve and what's going well for us.
Definitely. And I think it's a great idea. It's a great concept. So go to statementgames.com. Let me move this banner out of the way so you can see see the website right there, statementgames.com. It's also in the comments. Check it out. They have games for tomorrow. Cowboys versus Giants should be a fun one. So thank you for coming on.
All right, man. I'll catch you later. Have a good one. Take care.
All right, you too. Have a good one. All right. So that was my guy, Marc of statementgames.com. great to get him on the show. He's a Giants fan. I'm a Cowboys fan, so I figured, let's do this thing and let's bring him on. Now we're about to get to the business of this fantasy football finale show. So we've been doing this for the past couple of weeks. We got some guests already in the queue, so we're about to bring them in right now. And we got a question already queued up from my man T1. Scott Captain says statement games FTW. So hopefully that means you're going to check it out. But, it's really, I think, for the win as FTW. But I think it's a great concept. We already got a question here, Tyreek Hill or DeAndre Hopkins. But let's bring in our guests. We got Courtney Harden in the building. What's going on?
What's up, Ben? How you doing, man? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. Glad to get you on the show. Also, we got Chris Morning with the Cowboys shirt on as well.
No, two Cowboy fans again. I got to deal with this again.
Let's go. We are about to back into the playoffs like a team that doesn't deserve to be there, but hey, backing in is in. So I mean, I don't know how I feel about it, but it's the Cowboys, so you got to live with it and die with it. If you're a fan, you already know what the frustrations are. But so we got Chris, we got Courtney. We may have two other people. Nathan, I think he was in here earlier, and then Easy Sports. We may have him on as well. But as we're kind of getting started, man, it's been a great experience to do this show. It's something we kind of started on a whim, like I said, getting more and more people involved, more questions. So we're taking your questions tonight as well, and we're talking about our teams and how our teams did. Right off the bat, before we talk about our teams, we got a question here. Tyreek Hill or DeAndre Hopkins? I think this is a really good question because obviously Tyreek Hill has been a beast of a wide receiver as well as DeAndre Hopkins have. So I'm going to go to you first, Courtney.
Is he talking just week 17 or just overall?
I think he's talking. He says, so I know these people aren't related to C teams, but which wide receiver? I'm assuming he's talking about for right now.
Okay, so he's
week 17. Yeah.
All right, so week 17 is an unusual way to play because it's at the end of the season. So you got teams that just are not playing in their starters. So Tyreek Hill's not playing at all. He's out. So the Kansas City Chiefs are sitting out most of their starters because they've already wrapped up number 1 seed. So for week 17, then I guess you got to go with Hopkins because Arizona's still playing for something. They're playing for a playoff positioning and to get in the playoffs. They're playing the Rams, I believe, and whoever wins gets in. So you got to have D Hop. So if you're just talking week 17, you definitely got to play DeAndre Hopkins because Tyreek Hill's not playing.
Yeah. Yeah, and hopefully, if you want to clarify that question, I was T1, but I would say in that scenario, you got to go with Hopkins, and if you want to go long term, I would go Tyree Hill because he's been lighting it up, all year long. But Chris, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Oh no, I totally agree. I mean, anybody week 17, he's already got their bye. You really, you don't know if they're gonna set. They might play a series. They're fighting to get in. Hopkins gonna play that whole game.
Yeah. All right, we have someone from Periscope. I don't know if that's a real person or not. If you guys see the comments over there, but shout out to you. Thank you for coming through. All right, so how do you guys' teams do? Chris, I know you were battling it out with your wife. So how did that end up working out?
So we were in the same division. She went 10-3. I went 10-3. I had her on points, but she beat me twice. So week 15, my last game came down to the Steelers defense against the Bengals. And I was up by like 9 or so. I was like, oh, Steelers playing the Bengals. I'm done. Go do some cornhole and have my buddies. Come back from the game on. I'm like, It turns out we tied.
Really?
Tied. I've never tied. And I'm sitting there, he's texting, like, what do we do now? Like, he got the win because he was in a different division and got the 2 seed for being in that other division. So I'm like, I beat you twice, though. But I will say she ended up taking it. I was kind of proud of her, you know. So she got some revenge for the family.
Good. All right. In my league, I was second in one league. This was in the ESPN league, so I'm happy with that. I would rather wanted to get first place, but you know it is what it is. You try to get the best that you can. And in the other league, I was in 12th. I was in the Yahoo league. It was just bad out the gate. It just wasn't good at all. I had injuries. I think that league I drafted Saquon Barkley like 3. And then also I had other injuries with other wide receivers. I think I had OBJ in that league. So, I mean, that was just a horrible league for me. So second and 12th, won a couple of DraftKings leagues. So, you know, I'm okay with that. Playing this for week 17, so we'll see how it goes. Courtney's in it. Chris, if you want to jump in it as well, you can.
Yeah, but I don't understand that one. I've looked at it, never done it.
Oh, never done DraftKings? Well, it's a perfect time. It's the last week. So, you know, it may not be. I don't know if it's the perfect time to figure it out because you know you never know what's gonna happen with Week 17 games. But you can definitely try it out. It's about $3 to get into the league. But Courtney, how'd you do in yours?
You know, it's funny because I didn't play, as we knew. We talked about it over through the years. I didn't play just the regular fantasy football with the drafts and things like that. I didn't do that this season, but I did a lot of DFS. So I played a lot of DraftKings almost every week, and I did pretty well. You know, I won some money, banked a lot, and so these last 2-3 weeks have been tough. I've been like in last place and then like second to last place. I'm like, okay, I've lost my magic. So I didn't play none last week. I was so upset winning so much, and then in the last couple of weeks I didn't play anything. So I just went ahead and just did the league this week in week 17, and I know it's going to be an interesting week because you know, like you said, a lot of starters are not playing because you got to go with teams that are playing for something, or even the bad teams. You just got to kind of dig deep into this week. So, but yeah, overall, I think I've done pretty well. Made a lot of more money than I normally do. So it was a good year.
Yeah. All right, so I got the word that I'm going to say Miss Tony, thank you for coming through. She is watching on Periscope with a lot of great comments. She says, not planned for COVID. She looks like she was in a Yahoo league. I like Yahoo better for me just because the scoring just seems more realistic. For ESPN, I mean, they do like 0.5, and I mean the way they do the scoring to me, I don't necessarily like. So Yahoo is my favorite. I've done ESPN, I've done NFL, I've done a variety of different ones, but for me, I think Yahoo is the better one that I would roll with. What's you guys' favorite fantasy platform?
I like Yahoo too. I like their scoring a little bit better than ESPN's. And I do both too. I've done ESPN and I've done Yahoo. I've never done NFL, but I just usually stick with ESPN and Yahoo. So, but if I had to choose, I would pick Yahoo. I do ESPN when we do our live drafts with my work co-workers. We do ESPN, so we didn't do it this year, but the last 2 years we did ESPN. So they're both pretty easy to use, but I think Yahoo's just more friendly user than ESPN.
Yeah, I agree. Chris?
I've done Yahoo, NFL, ESPN. Only I haven't done CBS, which I heard it's a different kind of setup where you have to run like 3 wide receivers and all that.
Yeah.
I like Yahoo. I like after your draft, you get your draft breakdown and your grade.
Yep.
Your game, you get your weekly breakdown. I'm sitting there reading like, oh, I should have done this. You know, I like that aspect of it. I wish that's something ESPN would do.
Yeah, and you get your like draft grade, like you said. It's fast, it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can do the draft from your phone with ease. I mean, it's all, to me, is a great idea. Let's bring in our next guest. He's got the Cowboys gear on too. We 3-1.
Oh man,
3-1 with the Cowboys.
Man.
What's going on, Nathan? How are you?
Hey, sorry, Courtney.
It's a Cowboy Nation here, man. We'll see by about 5 o'clock Eastern time if you guys will be this happy tomorrow.
We'll see tomorrow.
We're beating the Giants, and the Washington's going to lose. We're going to win the NFC East tomorrow night. I'm going to pop champagne bottles all day, all night. So
backing in, we go back into the playoffs. Playoffs is the playoff.
I don't know if Washington's gonna lose. I mean, as an Eagle fan, half the squad's not even playing. The Eagles they're not even playing half their starters. So Washington should win, but you never know.
It's week 17 and it's the NFC least. So you absolutely have no idea how this is gonna work out as the season goes along. But Nathan, talk about your team or teams this year. How did you do?
So me and my friends, we used the NFL, the official NFL fantasy thing. I finished in second place. I made it to the championship round. I lost by 1 point. So
wow.
Gut
punch.
But my team overall was good. I started the season like 3-0, and then I was 4-6, and I finished the season on a high, and then that helped me got into the championship round, and I had really good players. But I think I could have won the championship if I had McCaffrey. McCaffrey's been injured pretty much the whole season for me, so that one player I needed was McCaffrey. But all in all, great fantasy season with my friends, and just won a couple of. I won second place. Second place winner wins $100, so I got $100. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hey, that's money that you just won. So hey, take it. Take that money to the bank. You know, that's a good year if you win something. So big shout out to you. All right, we got some questions loaded up. So let's get to the questions. Who do you think will win the Super Bowl? I think that's a wonderful question. Thank you, Alex Kershaw. I don't know if you're related to Clayton Kershaw. Tell him I said hi and I want to get him on the show. But anyway, I think it's going to be a repeat of the Chiefs. I just don't see anybody that's gonna stop them. The only team that really gave them fits was the Raiders, and the Raiders aren't going anywhere. So I honestly think it's going to be a repeat. I know that's extremely difficult to do, and not everybody can say that they've repeated back-to-back years, besides the Patriots. But if there's anybody that can do it, I think it's the Chiefs. So let's go to Chris. Let's go to you first.
Oh, no, I agree. When they added Bell, that was a big pickup for them. When Edwards-Helaire went out and he could just step right in, and they really didn't miss a beat. They're just stacked one way or another. You don't know where the ball's going to go, and Mahomes is Mahomes. He's going to make plays, and that ball's and they're going to score. You just want to try to limit that scoring. You keep them to 20, 25, you might have a chance, but and they get rolling, you're done.
Yeah, and they just play around with it. They just play around. They're like, oh, well, we'll just pull out a win. We don't have to worry about it. We got Tyree Hill. All we got to do is throw the ball up, and he'll run under it. They got weapons at all types of weapons at wide receiver. Travis Kelce, who is a tight end wide receiver. Mm-hmm. So, it just doesn't matter. All right, Courtney, I'll go to you.
I mean, I agree. I think the Chiefs are going to probably win the whole thing. I mean, they're definitely going to come out of AFC. The interesting thing about them is that they've had some close games. They haven't played their best football in the last 3 weeks, but they're still 14-1. So they're playing their best football, and we know come playoff time they're going to turn around. And the way Mahomes can play, even a lead, we've seen this last year when they're down, they have so many weapons they can turn it right on so quick. And Mahomes just figures it out, and it's like, okay, time to score 14 points in 3 minutes or something like that.
Really.
So
they'll do it.
No lead is safe with them. Also, if they get a lead, they can run the football. They, like I said, they got weapons all across the field, and their defense can play well enough to keep the game close or just hold the lead, whatever they need to do. So they're the best team in the AFC, but I do believe that the Buffalo Bills actually has a chance. I think they're the only team in the AFC that actually has a chance.
Yeah.
I don't know if they will upset Kansas City, but I think they're the legitimate team in the AFC that can actually maybe have a chance to beat the Chiefs, because I don't know if Tennessee can do it. I don't think that the Colts, you got Pittsburgh. I think they peaked too early. You never know. In the playoffs, they might turn around too, but I think they peaked too early. Baltimore's getting hot right now, so they're another team that can be tough. But I think Buffalo's the only team that can actually contend with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, let's bring in another. We got another one, in the words of DJ Khaled. We got Sean Kiernan coming in, man. We got the full crew tonight. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
Man? What's up?
What's going on?
All right. We already got a question queued up, but since you're coming in, how did your fantasy team do this year?
All right, so for the most part, I was solid on my Yahoo. I heard you guys talking about Yahoo Fantasy earlier, and that league I had a keepers league, so I finished actually in third place this year for that league. My team just had a great regular season, but we choked like the Saints in the playoffs. So that's how I compare it.
All right. So the question is, who do you think will win the Super Bowl? Nathan, I'll go to you, and then Sean, I'll go to you.
The Chiefs are resting all their players tomorrow, right?
What I got?
Yeah. So here's my hot take. I got the Bills upsetting the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. I got the Bills going to the Super Bowl.
Whoa.
Yes.
I
have changed my thoughts, because let me tell you why. The Bills have something special going on this year. Josh Allen is playing out of his mind, and I feel like I feel like their defense is amazing. Their offense, obviously with Stephon Diggs, top 5 receiver, and I feel like the Bills they're on the hype train. So I definitely got the Bills upsetting the Chiefs, and they're the team that can knock off the Chiefs too. So they're that good. Josh Allen is he's a great quarterback. He's going to be a star in the league. So.
All right. That's a very hot take. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anything can happen in the National Football League. We all know that. All right, Sean, who do you think will win the Super Bowl?
I'm gonna actually go with Kansas City here. And to what you're saying, Nathan, with Buffalo, that game is gonna be really close.
Yeah.
I really think so. And here's the thing that I'm going to say about that game, because if Buffalo gets off to like a good start, like if they have like a good lead, like let's just say they're up by 14, I don't know if Mahomes comes back like what we've seen in the postseason last year. Right. I don't know if he comes back this time around. You know what I mean? So I'll go with KC as long as they had the lead. If they had the lead against Buffalo, they'll be fine. Yeah. But if they're down by 2 possessions, I don't see them coming back.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, and it's gonna eventually come back to bite the Chiefs. That when they keep playing around with fire and they keep just letting, teams build leads on them, and they're like, "Oh, we can just come back." Eventually, it's gonna come back to bite them, and it may end up happening in the playoffs, or it may just end up being extremely cocky and they just ride throughout the playoffs and win another Super Bowl. I mean, who knows? What's gonna happen. All right, we got another question. Alex Kershaw, related to Clayton Kershaw. He actually said, let me read his comment. He said, yes, I am. We will do that. Okay. Hey, let me know.
What?
Let me know, Alex.
Let's go.
I'm all in to get Clayton Kershaw. But who is better, Rodgers or Tom? Now, this is a really good question, because I think athleticism and ability, you would have to go with Rodgers. If you're looking at this in a format of the one that's had the most success, I mean, you could go with Tom, but he is saying who's better. I'm gonna go Aaron Rodgers all day, just because of his ability to move around in the pocket. And there's years that he struggled with not having an O-line, and he's still been able to win. Now, he hadn't won as many Super Bowls, but I think he's the better quarterback overall. So let's go to Courtney first.
This is a good one because if we talk fantasy or this is like the real thing, I gotta go still Brady. I mean, I think Rodgers is better now and has been for maybe the last couple of years. But we talking the totality of a career. You got to go with Tom Brady. I mean, this guy has put up numbers. He's putting up numbers even without Bill Belichick. There was always that question, was he the product of the Bill Belichick offense? Well, we see he can still put up great numbers without Bill Belichick. He can still win without Bill Belichick. So I think overall, because he does have the 6 Super Bowl ring, now throwing the football athletically, as you said, and yeah, that's Aaron Rodgers and the way he can throw the football and things like that. But with 2 minutes on the line, I got to go with Brady all day. So I got Brady over Rodgers when it comes to overall career.
Okay. And this is the fantasy football finale. So if we go with fantasy, you got to go with Rodgers.
Yeah.
Rodgers it up. He's got the most. He's either second or third with points in fantasy for quarterbacks. So I would go Rodgers on both sides of that question. Yeah. All right, Chris, we'll go to you.
Yeah, fantasy, I'm taking Rodgers, but here's the way I look at Brady. I'm going to throw in my baseball thing with Jeter. I hate the Yankees. I hated that Jeter plays the Yankees, but I'd love to have Jeter on my team.
Right.
Now, I hate Brady because he don't play for us. You put Brady on my team, I'm all day about Brady. But career-wise, you have to go Brady. Lately, yeah, it's all Rodgers. I mean, younger, he's starting to – he gets those penalties on the defense, sees them run out the field like no other. Brady's he's still trying to learn that new system, but he's old. He's playing great still, but how much longer can he actually do that?
Right, that's true. I mean, Father Time is undefeated, never lost. In the words of LeVar Ball, never lost. So, I think this is a great question. All right, Nathan, we'll go to you.
Before I go to my answer, a quick update on the North Carolina and Texas A&M game. North Carolina just scored, so it's 27-20 North Carolina in the fourth quarter.
Nice. And North Carolina is my squad, by the way.
Yeah.
So let's go. Let's go Heels. Let's get this win.
To answer this question, what a great question, though. Great debate. But speaking of, if it's fantasy, I'm going to go with Rodgers, obviously, MVP. He's having an MVP season. But if it goes, like Courtney says, if it's career, you got to go with Tom Brady because he has 6 Super Bowl rings. I don't know if he's going to win another one, but you never know. But I think Tom Brady, career-wise, he's obviously the GOAT. A fantastic career with the Patriots, and he's still showing that he still has it with Tampa. But I'm going with Rodgers in fantasy, but career Tom Brady for sure.
Okay. All right. We'll go to you, Sean. Last one.
I'm agreeing with just about everybody else here. Success definitely obviously goes to Brady here. But this year in particular, I mean, you got to go Rodgers. This is like your MVP of the league this year, right? I don't know how you guys feel. You think Rodgers? You guys all think Rodgers winning?
He should.
Allen.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's up there. Yeah. Josh Allen. I got
Mahomes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for me. I mean, like, as of right now, definitely taking Rodgers. He should be winning the MVP. And to be honest with you, I think they end up making a bigger run than Tampa does this year.
Me too. Mm-hmm. I agree with that too. I like them in the NFC, especially if they get that number 1 seed. And that's, like I said, with fantasy, if you got to play the guys you know that they're playing for something, and they're playing for that number 1 overall seed. So Rodgers, you got to, I guess, get him in your lineups. I got to go with Rodgers.
Yeah. All right, we got a question in the chat for you, Courtney.
Uh-oh.
Who the Eagles drafting?
I don't even know. I haven't even looked at anything yet for the draft, so we don't know where the Eagles are picking at yet. If they have a chance to even get a top 3 to 5 pick.
Yeah.
So as long as they don't mess it up. So I haven't really looked really to see who they would draft yet, depending on where they go. So
I hate to say this. I hate to say this as a Cowboy fan, but 2 words: Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
another wide receiver.
Yeah.
They're going to need all the help they can get.
Yeah.
You just drafted Jalen, the other Jalen. You got 2 Jalens. Greg Ward. I don't know what Alshon is doing.
Alshon's probably gone.
D-Jax.
Jackson's gone. He's probably gone.
Man.
So
D-Jax plays one game a year, and it has to be against the Cowboys every single year. That's the one game he'll play. He don't play any other games. He'll play that Cowboys game for sure, just because he doesn't like our colors or something. I don't know. Anyway.
I tell you this though, the Eagles got to either they're going to need help at a lot of different positions, but as they don't get a quarterback, they don't need that. They're going to have at least two. If Wentz stays, they're going to have at least two. They don't need running game. They need another receiver. Tight ends should be fine. I know Zach Ertz might be gone though too, so they got Goddard. I'm looking at more of they probably receiver help. They're going to need safety, secondary help. They're gonna need linebacker help, so they could go a lot of different ways. So they're gonna have a top 5 to 10 pick.
Yeah.
All right. I'm Tony saying Cowboys L. Come on now, don't come in there.
Yeah. What the hell? Come on now.
Come on.
She's on the track.
Louis Hollis says, "Have fun with your garbage draft pick and first round exit." I'm assuming he's talking about the Cowboys, which everybody loves to hate. That's fine. We'll take the hate with the love, and whatever happens this year happens. I was not expecting us to. I was expecting us to win the division. I wasn't necessarily expecting us to win the Super Bowl, especially with new coach, COVID.
Yeah.
Then when Dak went down, I was like, okay, this season's over with. So let's just go ahead and fast forward to the end. That was my initial thoughts and feelings about it. All right, so. I think we are all caught up on the questions there. Tonight we're going to do a fantasy football awards for positions, which I thought was a really good idea. Obviously, coming down to the end of the season, most everybody's fantasy seasons are over, and everybody's just doing daily fantasy for this week 17. So we'll go through positions. Also, you guys are tuning in. You got any questions, fantasy, non-fantasy, whatever, share how your teams did. I would love to get your comments and perspective. Also, 2 other things I want to mention. If you want to join our league for next year, we're going to do a season league, probably on Yahoo. Put your email wherever you're listening, and we'll be coming on each week like we're doing now, but we'll be starting from week 1. Probably we'll do the draft. I don't know how we're going to do it. We're going to do a draft, live stream. Then we're going to do every single week, recapping and on all that kind of stuff. So if you want to join in. Also, the BS3 Radio YouTube channel is now monetized. If you know anything about YouTube, you have to get a certain amount of listeners, a certain amount of viewers. We are now into that group. So if you want to support us, there is a thing that YouTube has. If you're monetized, it's called Super Chat. You can support us that way if you want. You'll be able to see that in the chat box. Also add different things. All right. One other question is Justin cracked at Fortnite? I don't know what that means. I don't play Fortnite, so I don't know what that means. All right, but let's go at quarterback first. As we're talking about fantasy football awards by position. I'll go with mine first. We may all have the same one, but Patrick Mahomes. Tyree Hill had a great year, and somebody had to throw him the ball, and that was Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce had the most yards by any tight end this year. Someone had to throw him the ball. It was, guess what, Patrick Mahomes. And if anybody had him in fantasy, every single week he was a guaranteed 20, 30, 40, sometimes 50 points. So I got to go with Patrick Mahomes at QB. Courtney, I'll go to you.
That's a good pick. That's a really good pick. It would have been him maybe about 2-3 weeks ago, but I got to go in there. Got to go in Aaron Rodgers, man. Like, I rode him in DFS a lot. He was consistent. He put up the huge numbers. I wrote down the numbers: 44 touchdowns, over 4,000 yards, only 5 interceptions. This is from a guy that only had Devonta Adams and Robert Tonyan as his tight end. Really to throw the football. Aaron Jones in the running back position. We talked about Patrick Mahomes. His weapons, he had Tyree Hill, Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce had the 3rd most yards or receptions almost he was a tight end, and he was right there with the receivers. That's how productive he was. He was third overall. So, but I gotta go with Aaron Rodgers. This was a guy that didn't have a lot of weapons around him and still had the numbers he put up. They're 13-2, about to have the number 1 seed, or 12-3, 12-3 or 13-2, I can't remember. But they about to have the number 1 seed probably in the NFC. So I gotta go with that bad man himself, Aaron Rodgers. I think fantasy MVP and probably the real MVP too.
Okay. All right, Nathan, I'll go to you.
I got to go with Aaron Rodgers. He's putting up. He has almost over 40 touchdown passes, right? And
44,
44, 3 picks or something, 3 or 4 picks. But man, this guy is he's showing. He's still showing that he still got it. And obviously, he has Adams, Lazard. I love Lazard as a receiver. That guy can play. Heck of a player. And he has other weapons too, but I got to go with Rodgers. Like Courtney said, like Stephen A. Smith says, he's a bad man. So
yes.
Okay. All right, Sean.
I got to go with the guy who actually carried me on just about half of my teams this year, and I got to go with Josh Allen in Buffalo, man. And it's just what a year and they're having in general. Especially the connection with Stephon Diggs. My goodness. Like, I'm sure if you guys, whoever had Stephon Diggs this year, must be loving it right now. Because if you had that duo, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs in your fantasy league, my goodness, man. That was awesome. A lot of positive stuff this year from him.
Yeah, great combo. Adding Stephon Diggs was huge for Buffalo. Huge. So, that was – I think one of the best pickups of the year, because the second he got there, it was they just clicked. And that was huge to Josh Allen. Because if you go back to last year, I don't remember Josh Allen having this much success, and that's probably because he didn't have a true number 1. He had John Brown, I think, last year, and he had Beasley, but he didn't really have a true number 1. So that's helped both of their success stories of this year. All right, Chris, we'll bring it to you.
So beginning of the year, I had it'd be Wilson and Mahomes 1A, 1B, flip-flopping back and forth. It really would have been the last 6 games, though. I'm going straight. I'm going with you. I'm going Allen. He is just rolling, rushing the ball in, just throwing to whoever. He's shown that he can be that elite guy that Buffalo's needed for the past, 25 years?
Since Kelly.
Yep. I'm really sarcastic. Didn't mean it to, but damn.
It's true. You're only telling the truth. We do our best to tell the truth on the show, and that's the truth, because all the different guys they've had throughout the past years. You could even say the same thing for the Cowboys, maybe. I don't know what some people think, but
Black and white. That's what the last time they did something. The Cowboys, and they was VCR tapes.
Hey, it wasn't that long ago. Okay, some of these people watching might have not been born. Hey.
It's been 13 back then, but damn.
No, that's a long time, right?
It was a long time ago.
It was long. All right, let's go to best running back, as we're doing fantasy football awards. As you're listening in, give us your comments. Who do you think was the best quarterback? Who do you think was the best running back? We'll do quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and then defense. At running back, Alvin Kamara. When I looked up the numbers, Alvin Kamara was number 1. I was thinking maybe Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry had some great games, but Derrick Henry had specifically 2 horrible games. We had 5 points and then 8. So I think Alvin Kamara, he's been pretty consistent all year long. And the fact that he has 6 touchdowns this year, which is crazy. Whoever had him in fantasy, you should have blew that person out that week, because that was unheard of. And that was the record. 6 touchdowns, I believe, was the record. So
yeah.
Juju. Hey, shout out to Juju who's tuning in. He said running back is Cook. Okay, Cook is definitely on that list too. When you talk about best this year,
and I just want to say wishing Kamara a speedy recovery from COVID. So he got tested positive, and also the Saints have no running backs for tomorrow too either. So
what is that going to look like? Yeah. So they don't have Murray.
Murray's out too.
Yeah, Murray's out too.
I guess you know what that means. Guess who's going to be suiting up?
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill going to be running back. Yep.
Mr. Gadget guy is going to be playing running back.
Play him. If he is, play him.
You know that game's going to look extremely weird if he's actually starting at running back. Let me pull up the depth chart real quick before we go. Oh, Ty Montgomery. They got Ty Montgomery. Then Tony Jones Jr. So they're going to get some run. But there is going to be some Taysom Hill runs, so don't be surprised. He's still worth, picking up.
Stay away from the running backs then this week.
yeah, don't do that. All right, so Sean, we'll go in reverse. Sean, who do you have best running back in fantasy this year?
Oh, I'm gonna go with I gotta go with Kamara, man. Like. This guy was unbelievable. Like you said, you hit it right on the head, Ben. And this guy's been consistent all damn year. Like, seriously, like he basically carried everybody's fantasy team. I mean, like if you were playing against Kamara, you were screwed before, even your 4:00 game started because it was a 1:00 game. Kamara put up all his points already. You were screwed from the get-go. So, and plus that 6 touchdowns, man, against the Vikings, crazy. I wish he would have got that 7th touchdown because I think the 6th touchdown, he tied the record, I think. The 7th one. I think it was a tie. The 7th, he would have got a 7th, but Taysom Hill got it. Don't know why Sean Payton did that, but that happened. So,
yeah. All right, Nathan.
All right. I know that Kamara is the number 1 running back. But I'm going with James Robinson from Jacksonville because he's the one who helped me out to get to the championship round. And James Robinson has been consistent all year with Jacksonville, even though they're not going anywhere. But this guy, this guy needs to get talked about more. He needs more respect on his name. This guy's a stud, undrafted rookie. He's showing himself that he can be a star in the league. So that's why I'm going with James Robinson. So.
Okay. Was not expecting someone to say that, but that's he did come out of the blue. And for people that picked him up, knowing that he was really the only running back that anybody knew of or found out about, obviously with Fournette being gone. So, great pick right there. All right, Chris.
I like Chubb. He sat there, he missed 4 or 5 games. He left that Cowboys game early, but he was consistent. He's getting 80, 90 yards a game consistently, catching the ball for, 15 to 25, and at least a touchdown to almost every other game. He averaged me maybe 15 points a game in my leagues, and he carried my running back squad. So, just consistency-wise, even missing those games and still might hit 1,000 on Sunday, I'm going with him.
Okay. And Chubb, man, with him and Kareem Hunt, what a running back tandem or duo that has been this entire year, which we knew it was going to be dangerous having both of those guys. But it's been great to watch. I'm not a Browns fan at all, but I'm a fan of those two guys running in the backfield, and I think that's been a great connection. All right, so Courtney, we'll bring it to you.
To me, it was between Alvin Kamara and Cook, but I got to go with Alvin Kamara. I think he was the most consistent out of everybody. Cook was very consistent too, but Kamara, he had one bad game. That was week 12 against Denver, where he only had 6 fantasy points. Everything else, you said he had 59 points last week with that 6 touchdowns. 47, 38, 35, 22. He averaged 25.5 points in fantasy at DraftKings, 21 total touchdowns. I think he gets the edge over Dalvin Cook only because of him catching out of the backfield. I think he's the best coming out of the backfield, and that helps you in fantasy just as much, better, especially if you're in PPR league, and he's a monster at that. So I think he's been the most consistent over all the running backs. I got to go Alvin Kamara as my fantasy running back.
Okay. Yeah, and that's true. He's been the most consistent out of every single running back. I would love to give that award to Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry's had a couple of down weeks as much of a monster he's been, this year. He's had a couple of down weeks. All right, we got a question from Scott Catherine. should Juju dance on more or less logos? I would say less. Or here's an idea. Don't do it on camera and post it for every single team and person on the universe. Like, do it without having to post it. Like, I mean, he's still going to dance. I mean, he probably just in the locker room. But the way that he got smacked, and shout out to TikTok, shout out to the person that made that TikTok video, because that's what helped BSC Radio's channel blow up. But anyway, side note. But I think he should dance on less logos.
Yeah.
Yeah, produce. Won't you just produce? Yeah. Do your thing and produce. When T.O. did it, when he was still on the the Cowboys logo or whatever, T.O. is like a future Hall of Famer. He is a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer. It's like, come on, man. Like T.O. had to do. That's what he used to do with his antics and stuff. But Juju, man, just produce first before you can start dancing and things like that, man. I love it, but it's like, come on. Get those yards up and get those receptions up, because he hasn't really done much since Antonio Brown left. So what's that say?
Yeah. And honestly, if we're all honest, they really don't need Juju. Like, they could literally trade Juju tomorrow and be completely fine. Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool coming out of nowhere. Who's the other guy? James
Washington, right? James
Washington. I mean, and then they'll draft somebody this year. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers are so smart when it comes to drafting. Like, they just retool. They lost Le'Veon Bell and AB like nothing ever happened. Like, they didn't even exist. So, like, honestly, Juju can be gone tomorrow and they would be fine.
Yep.
All right, let's get to wide receiver. Best wide receiver in fantasy. We may potentially have a clean sweep here. I'm very interested to hear what everybody has to say. Off the bat, I'm gonna go with Tyree Hill. This year, again, somebody has to throw him the ball. That person was Mahomes. But Mahomes got him the ball every single game. He didn't have any. I believe he didn't have any games less than 10 points. He had a lot of games where he blew up. All he has to do is get into wide open space and it's over. Like, actually, that's not even true. All he has to do is run past the guy that's supposed to be covering him, and it's a wrap. And that's what it's been all year long. So I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill, the fastest guy in the league, too. I think let's go ahead and put a stamp on that, fastest guy in the league. So, Courtney, we'll go to you first.
It's not going to be a clean sweep, man. It's not going to be a clean sweep.
You did it to me.
Devonta Adams, man. He's the best receiver in football right now to me. He's been the most consistent. And as I said, Aaron Rodgers, we know where the ball is going to, and they still can't stop him. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is throwing to Devonta Adams. He's been a monster. I'm looking at the numbers now. He's averaging 28 points a game for a wide receiver. He just had 46 points last week. He dominated Tennessee. And Aaron Rodgers, he just keeps continuing to look for him. And he's going for 20 touchdowns going into tomorrow's game. He's got 17 right now, 1,300 yards, 109 receptions. He's going into that 20 touchdown. I think only, two receivers have done. I know Randy Moss did it.
Randy Moss, yep.
It was a Jerry Rice. Did Jerry Rice do it too? I know Randy Moss did. It could be just one or two receivers. That's it. And he's getting into that elite, that upper echelon. So I gotta go with Devonta Adams. He's been to me the most consistent. Yeah. He's had one game where he was under 6 points. Just one game. That was in week 2. Everything else has been 10 up. So yeah, I got Devonta Adams.
Okay. All right. I mean, I was leaning. I was gonna say Devonta, but then I was thinking like Tyreek Hill went off too. So great answer.
Yep.
Great answer. All right, Chris.
I don't know. I agree with Courtney. Devonta all the way. I mean, like you said, he's averaging a touchdown a game, basically. A touchdown in an eighth. Like you said, they know where that ball's going. They can't stop him. Even if they do, like, oh, we're going to double him. He still catches the ball. He's ridiculous. He's that receiver that everybody wants that, somehow another Rodgers gets.
Yeah. And the fact, like you said, the fact that who the ball is going to, it's going to go to him at some point in time in the game. probably a large majority of the game, and you still can't stop the guy.
Yeah.
That, to me, that's called dominance. That's called I'm going to continue to do it until you stop me, and they haven't been able to do it. So, good answer. All right, Nathan.
This is a tough one, but I got to go with Tyreek Hill, aka Cheetah. I think this guy, even though Devonta Adams having a great season, I can't pass up on Tyreek Hill, man. This guy has the speed. He's lethal. He can do anything on the field. If you leave him wide open, he's gone. So plus he has Patrick Mahomes, and I know Adams has Rodgers, but I got to go with the speedster, man. Tyreek Hill. He's been balling this year.
Yeah, that's true. True. All right, we'll bring it on to you, Sean. What do you say?
Hey, all great answers, man. But I see what you did, Ben, and you too, Courtney. You guys are picking your duos there with your quarterbacks. I see that too. So I gotta go with the guys that carry me in fantasy. I gotta go with Stephon Diggs. I gotta go with that duo, man. Hey, I have to do it, man. Stephon Diggs, terrific year. It's been a lot of fun to watch them, and I'll go with Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, all right, and that's a good answer too, man. He blew up as well. This is the year where he really took it to the next level, and obviously having Josh Allen has been huge for him in what he's been able to do this year. Josh Allen going to a next level, he went to a next level, and it was great to see because it was like his growth to me was being stunted with the Vikings, which I understand that he wanted to get out of there, and him getting out of there was him going to the Bills and see what the Bills are now with him being there, and you could see the addition that he's had. So, great answers. Thought we were having a clean sweep, but that's okay. We'll roll with it. So let's go to tight end now. We should have a clean sweep here, okay? I don't understand why we shouldn't. Kelsey all day, every day, man. Like Kelsey's not I don't know if he ever blocks. Okay, I'm not gonna say I've watched Kelsey tape, but I would say that when he gets open often, he's one of those catching tight ends that's like a dream come true. I'm sure if you're a quarterback, and he's lit it up this year. Most yards ever in a season by a tight end. He was guaranteed pretty much every game. I think he had a couple of bad games. And unfortunately, those couple of bad games was when I had him in fantasy. Yeah. So thanks a lot, Kelsey, for not coming through for me in those couple of games. But the guy's a flat-out beast, and he's got the best quarterback in the league throwing to him. And when you have those combinations, I mean, you're going to have a great year. And that's definitely what happened this year. All right, so let's see. I'm going to go to Chris first.
Oh, no, I totally agree. Kelsey he's what everybody wants. He's a better Witten to me that doesn't block as well because he can get down the field so much better with, it seems like, better hands because he catches those balls that it didn't seem like Witten really always could. But honestly, next year, I'll look out for Waller because I think Waller's on the rise and he can take that best tight end spot from Kelsey.
Yeah. And I was thinking about Waller because you want to talk about breakout years. Mm-hmm. He really blew up this year. But I'm going with the safe call, and I think Kelsey.
No.
All right, Nathan, I'll go to you.
I'm going with Mike Gesicki from Miami. Yeah, I think this guy, the reason why the Miami Dolphins are fighting for playoff spot, he's the reason why. He's been consistent. I like the way he plays the game. He's an underrated tight end. You're gonna be looking out for his name for the coming years here in the NFL. Mike Gesicki, 2 words. I think he's been consistent this year with Miami, so I'm going with him.
Okay. Another not clean sweep. That's fine. Whatever. All right, Sean, we'll go to you. Best tight end in fantasy this year.
Oh, it's 100% Kelsey. There's no debate about that one. I'm sorry.
Somebody agrees with me.
There's no debate.
I'm feeling good now. All right, Courtney.
This is easy. This was the easiest one. It's definitely Travis Kelce. I mean, this guy, like you said, the numbers he puts up, he's so consistent scoring. Like I said, he's behind Devonta Adams and Tyreek Hill, who are receivers. This is a tight end putting up those type of numbers. And I mean, like I said, the receiving yards from a tight end. Yes, he does have Patrick Mahomes throwing the football, but he gets open. He gets open every time. You cannot stop him. So I got to go with Kelce. I mean, it's funny. This tight end this season has been was very weak. You got to think like Zach Ertz he was injured. He had a bad year. He was injured, and then Waller's the closest one.
Yeah, Waller. Yep.
Yeah, he was. Of course, Kittle was hurt all year, so there was really no competition for Kelce except for Waller. But I gotta go there. This was the easier one. This was definitely Kelce.
Hey, I'm really sorry it wasn't a clean sweep.
Louis.
I love going for the underrated stories, man. Mike Gazdeski, this guy works hard every day. I like the underrated stories. So
yeah.
And I see the guy.
Got me a touchdown.
They hating on Gasecki. What the heck?
You got some shots being fired at you. But your answer. I'm gonna applaud you for that because some people would have changed it if they would have got some heat. So, all right, go with your answer. But you're right, Courtney. The pool has been so weak for tight ends. Like if you're doing DraftKings, there's Kelce. When Kittle was there. There was Kittle, and are you watching that game? Oh yeah. And then there was, then it was like Waller, and then everybody else was just, it depends on what it's going to be. You had Hopkins in there for a little while.
Yeah, Tanya, Marc
in there for a little while. You had guys that came in a little bit, but none of them were really consistent. Kelce was the only consistent one. Waller was pretty consistent, except when I had him on DraftKings, so thanks a lot. And then Jonnu Smith, look.
There we go.
Jonnu Smith,
right.
We got a love and hate relationship. If I ever see you in the street, I'm going to give you a hug. I'm not going to try to fight you because I know you're bigger than me. But you did not come through for me in multiple games in fantasy. I'm definitely not touching Jonnu Smith next year. I don't care if somebody offers whatever deal it is. I'm not taking Jonnu Smith next year. So that is what it is.
Score update real quick. Hold on. Texas A&M just scored a 76-yard touchdown, so 34-27.
Oh, no. All right, come on, Tar Heels. We got 4 minutes left.
3 minutes.
We got 4 minutes. Did they get an interception? It's 39-27 now. Does something else happen?
39? No, they mess up. It's 34-27.
Okay. They're trying to cheat. They're trying to give A&M points. All right. So let's go to defense. Which defense is another one of those like hit or miss. You just don't know, who it's going to be. It's kind of like kicker. Kicker is worse though. Kicker is it depends on the week. It depends on the team. Depends on if that guy is going to make a field goal that week. But with defense, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. I'm going with just based on the most points. Obviously, they've had a really good defense with Watts, with Dupree. When they had Dupree, obviously he went down. They got top corners. Historically, they're great. They're great defensive-minded teams, and they continue to do it every single year. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh for defense. And Sean, we'll go to you first. Best defense in fantasy this year.
I'm gonna agree with you with Pittsburgh because for the majority of the year, we're going back early in the year too as well. Like they were really, really good. That's when they had everybody just about. You know what I mean? That's what Bud Dupree and everybody.
Yeah.
So that defense is pretty damn good. I'll go with them this year.
Okay. And I think that it's a really good choice just because they've been consistent, and even in close games that they should have lost, their defense sometimes had to make a play. So, Courtney, we'll go to you.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was Pittsburgh, as Sean said. I think earlier they were giving you a lot of points. I mean, at one point, I'm gonna pull them up real quick. They got 18 interceptions, 9. Fumble recoveries, 52 sacks, and they averaged 9.6 points in fantasy. And they had games where they had 13 points, 12 points, 17 points, 14 points.
Yeah.
They've had 18 a couple of times. So earlier in the season, they were like flying all over. And that's the thing you want when you talk about fantasy defenses. You want teams that can sack the quarterback. I mean, you definitely want them not to score a lot, but you want them to be able to get sacks, force fumbles, interceptions, and they were all over the place. So I think they've been the most consistent. But I gotta give props to Miami Dolphins too. They carried a couple of weeks in fantasy as well, because they were doing the same thing. They were getting sacks, they were getting fumble recoveries, and some of the games they won because of the defense. So I think Pittsburgh's been the most consistent so far.
True. All right, Chris.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's Pittsburgh. You know, even when they're going through their slide of 3 or 4 games in a row they lost, their defense was still averaging 7 to 10 points a game, and they were still going. Their defense was what kept them in those games. It's just a turnover that the offense gave up the cost in those games. But the defense never let go. They just kept going.
Yeah. All right, Sean.
Oh, I think Nathan got to go. I won already.
Oh, Nathan. Sorry.
I got Pittsburgh too, man. I think the Micah Fitzpatrick trade was a game changer. I think that was 2 years ago or last year. No, 2 years ago. So once they got Micah Fitzpatrick, that was a good pickup for them, and their defense overall is amazing, and their defensive coordinator is obviously a legend there in Pittsburgh. So I got to go with Pittsburgh.
Okay. All right. I think that was the clean sweep. Nate,
finally got one, right?
Finally, when it came down to defenses. Okay, I'm good with that. Thank you guys for agreeing. All right, so fantasy football finale show. Thank you for all those tuning in. If you got any questions, NFL or fantasy related, put those in the chat room. If you're watching on YouTube, on Facebook, we're also on Periscope. Thank you guys for joining in and throughout these past couple of weeks. And we'll be back definitely next year. And we're going to do it consistently starting from week 1, and we'll do a draft. So we'll have the whole shebang next year. All right. What best bald player in the league?
What? Huh? Wait, what?
Best bald player in the league. Who you got?
Oh my God.
I don't know. You gave me a good laugh on that one. I haven't really.
I don't know. I
don't think we look at the bald heads.
Yeah. You don't really see enough. You don't really see enough bald heads in the league. So we'll pass. We'll pass on that.
That's funny.
But I appreciate the comment. All right, let's do some NFL pick'em. We got time remaining in the show. We got week 17 up right now, and an interesting week because some people aren't playing, some are, and this should be an interesting week. Also, figuring out the playoff spots. This playoff race is extremely interesting. Obviously, we have the NFC least. Then we have the AFC, and specifically when I say AFC, what division am I talking about? The East with Buffalo and Miami, and then you also have lodging for spots Baltimore, Cleveland, and Tennessee. Tennessee, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Miami all have the same record. So it's a very interesting last week. And then the NFC least is, kind of whoever wins the final game is going to be the one that's going to get into that winning spot, which doesn't mean anything. But let's go to the first game. We're going to go with, I think you guys know who, the Cowboys and Giants. Cowboys playing at New York at MetLife Stadium. Daniel Jones, obviously no Saquon, Zeke, Amari, who's over 1,000 yards too, by the way, which is interesting. Yeah. The different quarterbacks that he's had. But I'm gonna kick this off first. I'm gonna go Cowboys. I think they're, for some reason, and obviously they start to get hungry towards the end of the season.
Yep.
What happens every single year. And I think they're going to get this win. Now, do they go into the playoffs? I don't know, because it's going to depend on what happens with the Washington football team and the Eagles.
Did they?
I'm gonna go Cowboys.
Did they purposely switch that game to 8:20 just to make us wait longer?
Yep.
Probably.
Prime time. 100%.
100%.
It actually meant something.
It means something. Yeah, for one team, it really means something. But you know, it's funny because if the Eagles would have won last week, they would have eliminated the Giants and the Cowboys, and this game would have meant something anyway. So they would have probably put it on prime time anyway, Washington and Philly anyway. So, but Eagles are playing for draft position. That's all they're doing.
Yeah. All right, Courtney, I'll go to you first. Cowboys Giants.
If I had my choice, it would end in a tie, but I think both games should end in a tie. Just because we already have one, so why not?
Yeah, just to make the season even more annoying.
More annoying. The worst division in football history. You know, and we said before, I know when we talked about this like weeks ago, we said there's going to be a team in the NFC East. It's going to be 6 wins or 7 wins to make the playoffs, and Washington's the only team that can actually get 7 wins. Dallas and the Giants can get 6 wins to get in. So that's, I don't know. If I had to pick, I think the Giants might actually pull this off. If Daniel Jones plays, is he healthy? I know he's been injured. I don't know if is he playing?
He's good to go.
He's good to go. So I think that gives the Giants a better chance to win. Now, if he wasn't playing, I think Dallas wins this game. But I got the Giants winning in a real close game, and I think both defenses. The Giants defense was playing real well middle of the season, and then the injuries they can't seem like they can't get to the quarterback anymore. But I think they'll have enough to win a very close game, real close game, NFC East game. So
that's the way it goes in the NFC East. All right, Chris, I'm not gonna go to you. I know you can pick the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm not gonna go to you either. All right. Here we go. Giants and Cowboys. You got Sean. I'm not even gonna ask you. I think you get the Giants, obviously. But I'm gonna go to the next game. You know, we talked a lot about this particular team. The Bills going up against the Dolphins, 12-3, 10-5. I believe, there's a lot of weird scenarios, but if the Dolphins win, I believe they're in, or is there another scenario where somebody else has to lose?
I think the Dolphins. If the Dolphins win, I think they're automatically in. I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough game playing in Buffalo. The Bills have been on a roll. They only lost 3 games, and Fitzmagic has COVID.
Yeah.
So he is not playing, and that means also he is not available. So I don't know who the third string is, but that definitely means Tua's going to be out there starting. So if that could possibly mean something, that could mean nothing. But I'm going to go with the Bills in this one. I think Miami's had a great year. I think depending on the scenario, they could still possibly get in the playoffs. But it's definitely been a surprising year. But I'm going to have to go with the Bills on this one. Sean, I'll go to you.
You want something? As much as I love the Bills this year, in this particular game, give me the Dolphins this game. Just because of the fact there's a lot more at stake for them. They want to just be going to the playoffs. They had a terrific year. Being a 10-win team, did anyone expect that? I don't think anyone saw that coming. So, I think they end up capping off on a high note. They handle their own business. They do their part. They get the W, and they don't have to worry about anybody else.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Nathan.
Like I said, I got the Bills in the AFC Championship game, but I'm going with the Dolphins here. I would like to see a great story capitalize and make the playoffs, and I think the Dolphins do deserve to be in there. They've been competing all year. Brian Flores, a heck of a coach. Underneath the Belichick tree, and obviously they have a franchise quarterback in Tua. They're heading into the right direction. I think they need another running back to add to that team, and I think Najee Harris would be a perfect fit in Miami. So, but Miami's I think they're going to win this game and make it in.
Okay. And yeah, shout out to Brian Flores, man. One of the only guy from the Belichick tree that has had some success. Now, it's a very small window, but he's had a winning season. Matt Patricia, no. Josh McRoberts, no. Who else was on that tree?
Was Bill O'Brien? Was Bill O'Brien with
Brian?
Bill O'Brien.
More responsibility, which that made absolutely no sense. So yeah, the coaching tree. But yeah, shout out to Brian Flores. All right, next, Nathan.
Wait, what?
Oh, we're saying Dolphins or Bills. Who you got?
I already
picked. Sorry. All right, Chris.
I'm going to say Miami. Okay. I can see the Bills playing their starters for maybe a quarter or so and then trying to make sure no one gets hurt. And the Dolphins, I mean, I love Gaskin. That dude, he can run, he can catch, he can go. And I can see him, kind of taking over and, leading them into a win. I think what's going to hurt them, though, is Fitzpatrick being on, because that dude, no matter where he goes, he seems like he'll win somebody, 8 to 9 games and then gets replaced. I kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah, he can't seem to. I think his reputation always is he's a good spot starter and he's good for like the first 7 weeks, and then it starts to get a little murky. Like the magic starts to wear off after like week 7.
I mean, I was really kind of hoping we would have traded for him when Dak went down.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Colin got hurt, got COVID. I'm like, I like Garrett, but I was like, dude, they're starting Tua. Let's see what they want for Fitz.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Courtney.
I think Dolphins take care of business. I think they beat Buffalo because, as Chris said, I agree. I think Buffalo, they'll play their starters maybe 1 quarter, maybe a half, and then they'll get them out of there. And that's, like I said, with fantasy too, that's what y'all look out for is those teams that might play. It's going to mess you up if you pick the wrong players and then they play 1 half, kind of like I think with Tampa Bay and Tom Brady and them. I think they're going to play a half and get them out of there. But Miami knows they got to take care of business. They got to win to get in. They control their own destiny. So I think Tua, he's got to learn how to take care of this, take control of this offense and get it done. This is a good way to do it and beat Buffalo and get the Miami Dolphins in the playoffs. So I got Miami winning.
Okay. All right. I mean, it's going to be an interesting week, week 17 this week. All right, Steelers, Browns. Browns have a lot more that's riding on this than the Steelers are. Steelers are 12-3 playing this game in Cleveland, and then Cleveland is actually favored in this game.
Mason Rudolph is starting.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense.
Myles Garrett, here we go.
Hey, they probably did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, the NFL probably picked up the phone and called Tom. It's like, hey, you starting Mason this week, right? Okay. We need these storylines.
Yes.
Well, with that being said, I'm gonna go with the Browns.
Yep.
I would. On a side note, though, I would love to see Mason and Myles Garrett in a UFC octagon match. That would be fun.
Or Mason.
Even though Myles Garrett is so much bigger than Mason, but it'll be fun to watch him running around as Myles Garrett is chasing him. All right, anybody disagree then with the Browns?
I'm going with the Browns. Yep.
Yeah, Browns. Too much of a feel good.
All right.
Then Mason Rudolph starting. Now Myles Garrett might be teeing off on him.
Yeah.
Literally.
And
a long day.
Long day. And as you said, Cleveland, they're playing for they want playoffs. They want to get into the playoffs. And now Baker Mayfield, he gets a lot of his receivers back that had COVID 2 weeks ago last week. So this could be that could be somebody, fantasy wise, hey, that you never know. He might tee off and really have a big game, Baker Mayfield, next Sunday.
On a sad note, it looks like my Tigers are about to lose. It's 41-27. Great year, man. We win 8.
Yeah.
I say this all the time. North Carolina is not a football school. They're a basketball school. Anything they can do in football is gravy. So Mac Brown has done great things for this program. And honestly, I was upset that they hired Mac Brown because I thought he was washed up. But what he's done so far, I can't wait till next year. So this game's about over 41-27.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, which Texas A&M should have been in the top 4. That's a quick conversation we can have if anybody agrees or disagrees with that statement. But obviously, Notre Dame getting it. I'm so sick and tired of seeing Notre Dame in the top.
You're gonna disrespect my team, Ben.
I'm about to. Like, tell me what was your thoughts?
Okay, yes. Trust me, I know that all the narratives here because the fact that, hey, I'm gonna tell it like it is right now with the numbers. When they play in these type of games, they're 0-7 now in these New York 6 college football playoff games. Won't lie about that. They don't come out and perform in these games. I understand that, but something that I liked what Brian Kelly said was that he's going to put the pressure on his guys. This group, a specific group, is going to put the pressure on their opponents, and they're going to do their best to get back there, put themselves in that position yet again, and try to go out there and compete in these games. Like, that's what you got to do. And, like, you guys all know this too. In college football, you got 3 teams in Tier 1. You got Bama, Clemson, and Ohio State. Yep. Then you got everybody else. Yep. So, like, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, all those teams are together. They're literally bunched up. And I think they got it right because the game that Notre Dame played against Bama this time was a lot closer. Because if you look at Texas A&M's matchup against Bama in the regular season, a bigger point differential in when they played each other. So I think the committee got it right. They got, but no one was beating Bama. No one was beating Bama in that game as the 4th seed. No one had a shot.
Yeah. It's true. All right, so let's go Packers Bears. Now, this is a rivalry game. Green Bay's favorite. They're playing in Chicago. Bears are 8-7. I don't think. Let me go to the playoff picture. I don't think they have a. Well, actually, they're the 7th seed.
Yeah,
the Bears are in it.
They're in it. So they will be playing New Orleans, depending on how everything goes. But is there any news? Does anyone know any news as far as Green Bay? Is everybody playing? Is anybody sitting?
I think everybody's playing because they don't have the number 1 seed actually locked up because the Saints are right there with them. But I think they're playing, and it makes sense that Aaron Rodgers and Devonta Adams. I think they're going to try to get Devonta Adams at 20 touchdowns tomorrow. And Aaron Rodgers, he's over the 4,000 yard mark. So, but yeah, this means a lot for both teams. So I think I got Green Bay to win this game because this is a playoff game. They want that number 1 seed, and the way Aaron Rodgers has been talking, he's like, this is our best shot. This is probably my best shot to get to another Super Bowl. So this is one of the better teams I've had. So I think he's gonna go out there and try to light the Bears up again.
Yeah, take advantage. And he, like he said, I think he said the last game, he loves playing the Bears because it's almost like a guaranteed win. So I'm gonna go with the Packers here. I think it's they got all the tools and everything they need to win this game, and the Bears, they got Khalil Mack, so that could be an issue, but the quarterback position is not solidified, and everybody else is average, at best when it comes, I think, to that offense. So anybody disagree? Packers.
I got
the Bears too.
Got the Bears.
Oh, you got the Bears? Yeah. Oh wow.
I'm going with them too.
I got the Packers.
Okay, come to the front of the class, Chris and Sean, and explain yourselves. Chris, you can go first.
I mean, the Bears are playing for their playoff lives. If they lose, Cardinals win, they're out, Cardinals are in. That's as far as I know, that's the scenario right now. They need a win to stay in. So I think Trubisky is tired of hearing they should have taken Mahomes, they should have taken Watson debate. Been playing, I won't want to say great the last 3-4 weeks, but he's been playing so much better. He still has Robertson. Montgomery's been running his, he's just been going finally. I think they're going to stun the Packers. It's going to be a close game, but I think they pull this off, kind of like last second field goal, maybe by 4.
Okay. Great explanation. I'll give you a B+ on that. All right, Sean.
Hey, I think this is a big time division game, obviously, for both teams. But at the end of the day, don't you guys love this little fairy tale run that Trubisky's having all of a sudden? They start out really bad, the controversial quarterback battle between Nick Foles and Trubisky. They were going back and forth. And Trubisky looked horrible in Green Bay. We all know about that. He didn't look good at all. But now coming back, playing this game at home, like what Chris said, fighting for your playoff lives, man, at home. I think they get the job done.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll give you both of you guys get a B on your group project.
I like what they're on. I went from a B plus to a B.
Plus,
Like high school.
Let me give a shout out to Elijah and also Aiden. He says, "What's up, guys?" You've been a loyal listener or viewer, I should say, Aiden, throughout these fantasy football shows. So thank you so much. We will be back next year. And also anybody that just came in, if you want to play in the league that we will start up next year, make sure to put your email in the chat so I can jot that down and we can get you added on. That'll be fun. All right, so Cardinals, Rams, 8 and 7 and 9 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
This should be an interesting game. I'm trying to find out if the Cardinals are out or they are.
I think like what Chris says, right? If the Bears lose, if the Bears lose, if the Cardinals win, they're in, right? Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
They flip-flop last one.
There we go. All right, so it's a lot riding on this. Obviously Kyler Murray started off, hot, man, like MVP candidate. Now he's tapered off. But going up against a Rams team that just has been, to me, disappointing. I was expecting more out of them. So with this game, and Aaron Donald's going to be busy, but I like the combination of Kyler Murray and Hopkins. And I'm going to go with the Cardinals in a close one. They are favored. They're playing this game at SoFi Stadium in L.A., but I'm gonna go with the Cardinals to get the win. I think they got the weapons to do it, and they're fighting for that spot. And so I'm gonna go Cardinals. We'll go to Sean. Cardinals or Rams?
I think now the Rams, their quarterback, is it Wolford that's starting for them? Who's starting for them?
Yeah, John Wolford. Yeah. Jared Goff is out. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Surgery.
I mean, in this scenario, I'm not too familiar with Wolford. Like I've seen a little bit from him from his college game, but I don't know how he is in the NFL. So I got to go with Kyler Murray in this situation.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Nathan?
Yeah, I'm going with the Cardinals. I think obviously the Rams are in the playoffs, but the Cardinals they have something to play for here. So I think Kyler Murray is going to come out big tomorrow, and I got the Cardinals.
Okay. All right, Chris.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm going Cardinals. Except that they're playing for their playoffs. If they win, they're in. Rams are out. So, I mean, I expect Murray to kind of get back to the way he was. Even I think he's dealing with like a leg thing, they said, after that Niners game.
Yeah.
All he got to do, throw it to Hopkins. Hopkins going to catch it 98% of the time.
Right.
Even if it's 6 feet above his head, he's going to catch that ball somehow, some way.
Yeah, they got some stick-em on them gloves.
All right, Courtney.
Yeah, it's clean sweep. I'm going with the Cards too because with Goff out, Warford, I don't like I said, don't know much about him.
Yeah.
And they're gonna probably have to run the football. Malcolm Brown, they're gonna have to run the football, just keep running. And I think the Cards, as you said, they're gonna Kyler Murray, even he's been banged up a lot this season. The leg, the shoulder, but I think now he wants a taste of the playoffs, so I think he gets the job done and they win this game and get in the playoffs.
Okay. All right, so let's bring it to the Sunday night game. Washington Eagles. Eagles gonna want to be the spoiler. Washington wants to limp into the playoffs as well. My first thing is Alex Smith starting?
I think right now they're saying questionable,
right? Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like they're gonna make the choice when it's close to game time. I think, in my opinion.
Because they cut Haskins this week, so obviously Haskins is not there anymore. So it'll be Taylor Hinkie. What school did he go to? Old Dominion.
Heineke, yep.
They have football there?
Heineke. Old Dominion, wow. I'm gonna start off with you, Courtney. I think this is it's gonna be a good game regardless because it's a rivalry game. But I'm leaning heavily towards the Eagles, as much as I hate to say that, because I think Jalen Hurts has lit a spark under this team. They are playing. I'm not gonna say they're playing better, but I am gonna say they're figuring out a way to play better than what they were with Carson Wentz. Which that's a whole nother like interesting story.
Show, man.
Yeah, like that's a whole other 2 hours. But that topic. But I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I think Hurts is gonna play another solid game. Miles Sanders, obviously, but give me your take, Courtney.
Who would have thought the last game of the season would be Heineke and Hurts? You probably thought it was going to be Haskins, Wentz, maybe Alex Smith, maybe. But we probably thought, okay, Wentz will be in. This will be a playoff type of game. When the season first started, the Eagles and Cowboys were the favorites to win the division from a lot of people, a lot of experts. So, but who would have thought? But Hurts and Heineke, that would be funny. That would be interesting. But Hurts, I think Hurts, he's playing basically for his job too. He wants to still play as well as he has going into the next season. Maybe does he start? I don't know. That's another 2-hour show. But I don't know, man. I pull for my Eagles always to win. I think they could pull it off, but they're a lot of guys are sitting out. I think Miles Sanders is out; he's sitting out.
Mm-hmm.
I think Goddard's out. I know Alshon's out. I know Deshaun Jackson's out.
Damn,
so they got a lot of guys that are just out. Ertz is playing because I think Ertz is playing. I said earlier he's playing for contract now, so they're going to get him in, but we can't get him hurt. So who is hurt going to be throwing the ball to? We got Boston Scott still. But they have nobody really. They're just gonna throw guys out there, probably guys we never heard of. So I don't know what Washington's gonna. They're gonna play hard, but they got guys out too. So it's gonna be a low scoring game, I believe, and Eagles might pull it off by 17-14.
Okay. All right, Chris.
I don't even want to say it, but too many people out on each side. I think if Smith starts, he's just going to feed the ball to Gibson and Barber and McKissick. And honestly, I can see Washington taking it unless Hurts can take over. He has played great the last, 3 weeks he started?
Yeah.
But turning the ball over has been an issue. He had, 3 against the Cowboys, the 2 fumbles and the pick. That's kind of what if he can cut down on the picks and the turnovers, he can win this game for the Eagles. But if there's a pick here, a fumble there, Washington's just going to run that ball, and they're going to just take the clock down. They're going to win it, like you said, on a low-scoring game, 14-13, 10-7, something like that. It's going to be an ugly game, but I can see them pulling that off.
Yeah, good point. All right, Nathan.
This is the only time I'm going to be rooting for the Eagles. So
you and me both.
Let's go Eagles. I'm hoping they beat Washington because we need to make the fucking playoffs. So let's go. So excuse my language, but no, seriously, no. I feel confident I feel confident tomorrow that the Cowboys will make the playoffs. Jalen Hurts, obviously, what Courtney said, he's playing for his job, so I expect him to go out there like what he did for the past 3 weeks. And I expect, even though there's a lot of players out for each team, I expect both teams to battle, and I feel like the Eagles will come up here big, and I'm hoping that our Cowboys make the playoffs, and they will. So let's go.
Cowboys got to take care of business first.
I know we're gonna beat the Giants tomorrow. That's a fact. I feel confident. that we're gonna beat the Giants.
That's step one. We got to do that.
I want to watch the game with you.
Let's go.
I really do. I want to watch the game with you. I'm gonna make a brisket. What's up?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, we got to get a Cowboys.
Yep.
Cowboys.
Oh, we can do a Cowboys watch party on Zoom tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah.
I won't be doing that.
Heck no.
Oh yeah, you're welcome too.
I won't be there.
I'm good.
John, I'll send you the link. Just click the button. You know how Zoom works. All right.
Never know you're there.
All right, Sean. round it out.
Man, it's like, as a Giants fan, it's like, I guess I gotta hope for the scenario. I guess I gotta go with Philly in this one because we end up winning somehow. You gotta hope that Philly wins. But everyone keeps on forgetting about Washington's defensive front.
Yeah.
And if they, I'm telling you, it's, they're top 3 in the league. They're probably going to be second, third next year easily. And if you really look at them, that's going to win them the football game. Like, if they're going to win, it's going to be their defensive front: Chase Young, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, all those guys. That's going to win them the football game. And you want something? Screw it. I'm going to give me Washington in this one. I think they end the madness. They just do it. They handle their own business.
Okay. Yeah, that could happen. It could definitely happen. All right. Well, what a great show. I'm going to go over a couple of headlines that coming out from today. UT, University of Texas, has fired Tom Herman, if anybody wasn't aware of that news. And Steve Sarkisian is replacing him, Alabama's OC. I was a little shocked on this one. The Urban Meyer rumors were swirling. They said they weren't going to talk to Urban Meyer, that was over with. I thought that just meant that they were still talking to him just on the low. But they're bringing in Steve Sarkisian. It's interesting to see where that goes.
To be honest, I hate to see this because I'm an Alabama fan, so roll tide. But I think the Texans are getting a good coach. And Steve, obviously, he's an offensive guru, so he's going to help. I feel like he's going to help them. Obviously, a better upgrade from Tom Herman. So I think he's going to bring a different dynamic to the Texas team, and I really like that hire. But we're gonna have a big loss in Alabama. So I'm just wondering to see who's going to replace now Steve in Alabama as offensive coordinator.
Yeah, and they'll get somebody. There's no doubt that everybody would want to go and get that job. But there's a lot of pressure. This is what I don't know if people understand. When you come to Texas, it is expected that you win a national championship. If you go 12-0 and you lose, that's a disappointment. Like that's just the way Texas is. If anybody knows anything about Texas, Chris, I know you know, Texas is about football. It's about nothing else. Football and Jesus. That's it. Everything else doesn't matter.
They haven't been the same since they lost to Alabama. What was it, 8-9 years ago or something like that?
Sure.
Colt McCoy and all them, they have not been the same. They've ran through Mac Brown, now Tom Herman. That one, wasn't there someone else in between?
Charlie Strong.
Yeah. But they're not the same. You don't fear trying to play Texas anymore.
Sure.
You look for that Red River game. It's not like, okay, yeah, we got this. It's how bad are we gonna lose? And then it's what it is now.
That's true.
All the recruits are going to SEC because of A&M, and they get more exposure because Texas hasn't done anything.
Yeah, and the fact is, if you go to Bama and you play remotely well in televised games, you will get drafted. That's just the truth. If I was a kid coming out of high school and all Saban would have to do was call me or send me a text, and I'm like, yeah, I'm there. Like, there's no reason why you go anywhere else. I mean, unless Ohio State and Clemson, but they're still a second, coming as far as having players in the NFL as a whole. So that was one of the stories this week. Also, breaking news: Cowboys OC Kellen Moore
re-signed. Yep.
He won't join Boise State. I was hoping that he would have left. I mean, to me, he's a little too young, and I don't see the creativity that I see. It doesn't work. So if it worked, I would be like, yay! It's a really great thing to hear, but it's not working. So, so he'll be here for a long term. It looks like.
I mean, I do get why they're. To be honest, I think we need a more established offensive coordinator for this type of offense. But I think I like Kellen Moore. To be honest, I think he's improved from last year. If you think about it, I think obviously they've been scoring a lot more points, and he's coming up with some ways to get creative plays to make the offense better. So I like the way he's coaching. But I like Ben said, he's still young. But we got to see how this offense plays out for the next how many years he's here for. But let's see. But the other news that everybody should be looking out for. Actually, me and Sean talked about this earlier. Urban Meyer, the Jaguars are making a strong push for Urban Meyer. So
yes, I did see that. This is Urban Meyer. Almost dropped my microphone, but Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer is such an interesting person. Like the guy retires so many times. Like I don't want to be an Urban Meyer hater, but when controversy comes, he runs. Now, going to the NFL is a completely different story because whatever drama there is, these are grown men. They're going to deal with their own drama, unless you got, Bounty Gate or something going on, like you should be fine. So I don't know is this a real story, first of all? Because I know he wants to come back to coaching. I thought it would have been in the college ranks, but what better challenge would you want going to the NFL to see if you can do it there? So it may be real.
And then, starting with Trevor Lawrence, he's going to be the number one pick. Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence, James Robinson. I mean, Jacksonville could build. They need to do something to build because Doug Marrone just wasn't the answer anymore. And I think they start over. Like I said, we don't know if Urban Meyer, how he would do in the NFL ranks, but it's a risk I would take. And you start with Trevor Lawrence. You start from the bottom up and see what happens.
And here's another interesting scenario though. If the Jaguars do get Urban Meyer, do they get Justin Fields at number one?
I don't think so.
That's another interesting.
That's a connection.
Yeah,
that's something to think about.
Yeah.
Because I think Urban Meyer, obviously Justin Fields of Ohio State, so.
All right, Justin Fields, man, that kid has got some guts. The way he got hit on that play, I thought a couple of his ribs was broken. The way he was laying on the ground, then he got up, he was grimacing. Warrior. They gave him, I don't know what they gave him at halftime, but he came back out there like I'm playing. I don't care how it feels and how it hurts. But now I'm really looking to the national championship game. Like I don't know if they came out with an injury report or not, but what is he going to be looking like, in the next couple of weeks? Which I know he's going to play regardless. But how healthy is he going to be? And I'm not really seeing anything about his injury in any type of news report. So he must be good because he came back and he played. He said Justin Fields says doctors didn't explain injury during Sugar Bowl, just shot him up and let him go back out. That's from Bro Bible. I don't know how much of that is a real story. But this national championship is going to be interesting. All right. As we're talking about top stories, shout out to Rico D. We got a question here. Start the Pats defense or Steelers defense this week, which we talked about the Steelers D. They're going up against the Browns. Patriots going up against the Jets, which neither one of those teams are really playing for anything. I would still go Steelers just because they're the Steelers defense and they're gonna be on the field probably a lot with Mason Rudolph, but I would still pick them over the Patriots.
Yeah, choices. I would say go somewhere else. Not just for this week, because the Patriots D haven't been really good either. As you said, Pittsburgh, they're not playing for anything, but they are playing the Browns division. I mean, they're both divisional games. And the Jets, it's funny, the Jets have actually played pretty well the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, they have.
They won 2 in a row, and they're going to play hard against the Patriots. But I don't know. Maybe I would lean more towards the Pats just because they are still playing the Jets.
Okay. All right, Nathan, Steelers or Pats?
I got to go with the Steelers defense, I think, because actually take that back. I'm going with the Patriots defense, and because the Browns, I think the Browns are going to win that. We picked the Browns to win the game, so obviously the Jets are not playing for anything, and the Patriots are not. So why not just go with the Pats defense to get some points?
Okay. All right. Sean?
Man. Like you guys said, I mean, Courtney said it Dude, with the Jets, they've surprisingly been playing some good football in recent weeks. Like, what the heck is going on there? I guess Adam Gase just wants to give a final goodbye to all the Jet fans out there. So,
he got fired today, did he?
Well, they're saying that he's going to get fired straight after the Patriots game. That's what they're saying.
So basically, the pink slip is already on his desk. He just hasn't signed it yet.
Joe Douglas right now, he's like, go pick it up at the end of the game, by the way.
Right, exactly. They're going to slide it to him when he's walking off the field. Thanks. We already packed up your stuff.
Put it in his pocket.
Yeah, it's in your car already. Your wife already got your stuff. Have a good one.
Your box.
His box with his bobblehead and his Le'Veon Bell jersey. All right, Chris. Pats D or Steelers D? I don't think you went yet.
I mean, Cleveland out there? Because
yes, I said Cleveland. Yes.
I mean, honestly, playing a backup quarterback, we've all said it. Garrett's going to try to go off. He's going to try to hit that boy again. Not with the helmet, but, honestly, I would honestly look for Cleveland. The defense is usually pretty, I don't want to say average, but they're above average. They'll get you, 7 to 8 points maybe. And like we said before, they're playing for their playoffs. They're going to play hard.
All right. Well, you got some things to think about, Rico. Hope we gave you some food for thought. Also, look and see if the Cleveland D is available. A couple of people did mention that. The last story I want to bring up before we get out of here, Paul Westphal, member of the Hall of Fame, dies at 70. He was a 5-time All-Star, 3-time NBA All-First Team selection. He died. He was diagnosed with cancer in August, and it looks like he's passed away. So rest in peace.
This is not what I expected to start off the new year. Again, with the negative news, and this is horrible. He's a legend in the NBA. Obviously a big icon, and my prayers and thoughts are with his family, friends, and my deep condolences are with them. I'm just devastating.
Yeah. It's another sad note. Another row of deaths. We also had Don Wells from Gilligan's Island. We also had the Joe Clark, the actual Joe Clark that was portrayed by Morgan Freeman.
Yeah,
and Shabba-Doo, if you people remember the Breaking movie or movies. So, man, I think this 2020 has helped us realize, and I think we can all agree, is that we have to really, truly live our lives like today is the last day, because you do not know what could happen, especially with COVID, especially with everything going on. But continue prayers for all of those families, because it's a hard time. Especially with the way this year has been, and then to have a death, and then you start off the year. So prayers up for those families. All right. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It was a great show, great fantasy football finale show. Like I said, we'll be back next year. If you want to join the league, put your email in the chat rooms or anywhere at BS3 Radio, all avenues of social media. Send me a DM so that I can get you added on to the league. What do you have? As we do at the end of every show, we talk about what the guests have coming up.
Oh, real quick. Sorry. Before you end this, another headline is the best records in the NBA right now are the Phoenix Suns and the Sixers at 5-1.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, the Suns are on the up and up, so I'm not surprised there. The Sixers, I am a little surprised, but Doc, let's get them guys playing.
Yeah, Seth Curry's playing real well.
Yeah, Seth Curry's went. Yeah.
Yeah, and Embiid's finally taking it serious. Like, okay, I'm in shape finally.
And Ben Simmons are finally shooting threes now, so that's good.
Yeah, Ben shooting threes. Yep. Yes.
Ben Simmons. All right, so Courtney, what do you have coming up this weekend? I mean, you've been killing it with the interviews, all types of guests and people.
Yep.
Big ups to you.
Thanks, man. Just ready for this new year. Trying to take the real deal to another level as much as I can. And got Amanda Smith on Monday. Got a couple more guests coming up during the week. Nathan's coming on Saturday. Getting back to the Saturday shows this weekend. So that's what we got going on so far. So continue to follow on Instagram, Twitter at Get the Real Deal, Facebook, and bs3radio.com.
All right, Nathan, what do you have coming up this week?
There's some changes coming up this week for the show, so stay tuned for that. Monday we got Beauty and Cleats podcast coming on. Courtney had them on, so I'm really excited for that one. Tuesday I got Bosan Nakbar. We got Bosan Nakbar, former NBA player from the Nets. And then Wednesday we got her name is Shay from She Got Game. She's an analyst. She covers the WNBA, NBA. And then we're all currently working on some big things. I'm in contact with Desmond Howard right now about he's been sharing my stuff, and also Marc Sanchez I've been in contact with. We've been in contact with Demarius Smith. He's the NFLPA leader, if you know him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We've been in contact with him, and also Ramona Shelbourne. So we're just working on some big things. So hopefully come to fruition. But follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. The NR Hour, YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. So just stay tuned. We're always bringing content. 654 episodes and counting. So we're really looking forward to the future. And like I said, some changes tweaks are coming up soon. So just stay tuned.
Nice. All right, Sean, you've been doing a great job as well. I've been catching on to the interviews and IG lives you've been doing too. So what do you have going up this week?
So I had Jay Richardson on actually just today, a few hours ago. We were just talking about recap of Ohio State at Clemson. He played for the Ohio State Buckeyes, and he won a national championship back in the day a few years ago. So we caught up with that. For this coming week, I have a few guys in the college football game where they're just transferring. They're in the transfer portal. I'm gonna have guys on there. And we're just going to talk about what's going on in their thought process of transferring to different schools and stuff like that. That's what's coming up this week.
Nice. All right, Chris. Well, what do you have going on this week besides the Cowboys hopefully winning tomorrow? I mean today. Tomorrow, yeah.
Today.
First off, thank y'all for having me on here these 4 or 5 weeks. It's been great. Enjoyed it a lot. Hanging with y'all professionals and all. But it's family time.
Yeah.
Take a vacation. Hopefully 11 days. Just work around the house, chill with the daughter. That's about it.
Nice. Well, we'll be in touch because we're gonna do the same thing we've been doing. We're gonna start it at the beginning. We'll have the draft. Anybody got any ideas on how to structure it and do things? Definitely hit me up so that we can have a smooth rollout and smooth league and everything. And it should be fun because we already got about 5 people or so that said they want to join, and then you guys as well. So we may have a 10 to 12 team league. When you start getting to 12 teams, it starts getting real interesting.
Yeah, don't do no more than 12. I've been in a 16-team league, man. It's tough. I've done it twice, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that again, man.
Luckily, I was in an 8-team league this year, so that's good.
Yeah, you got lucky, man. A lot of pickups, a lot of easy pickups. But, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight and throughout this season finale. We will be back next week. I'm not sure what the show is going to be about, but we will definitely have some guests on. It'll definitely be a good show. Monday, we're going to do something not sports related. We're going to do movies of 2020.
Oh, wow.
So we'll talk about some of the movies that came out, released. So if any of you guys want to join, you definitely can. It'll be Monday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. We'll be right here. And then the following Monday, we're going to do a live coverage of the national championship game.
Nice.
Probably about halftime on. We'll be doing that. So that'll be fun. Should be a really good game. Hopefully Hopefully Justin Fields is okay.
Yeah.
If he's not, it could be a very interesting game. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight and throughout this season.
Yeah.
Courtney, Harden, as always.
Yeah, thanks a lot, everyone. Like I said, like Chris said, it was good to get to know, all you guys always, and just connecting. And it's been a good run, man. And good luck with everybody with Week 17.
Yep.
Trying to win this money in our fantasy league tomorrow.
DraftKings.
I got to bank some money before for the new year. Start the new year all right. But yeah, thanks for having me on always.
Yeah, Nathan, as always, man, great content, great input.
Yeah, so I just want to say thank you, Ben, for having me on this show for the last 5 weeks, and obviously it's great. I'm really grateful to be connected with all you guys, and obviously virtually, but still connected. And all of you guys are doing a fantastic job, and I love what we're doing as a team, podcast family, and bringing out content every day and helping each other out. So thank you for that, and like I said. Just look out for the big things in the future. So
Definitely. And Sean, thank you for coming through as well.
Oh, Ben, thank you, man. It's been a lot of fun talking football with all you guys. I love just talking sports with everybody, and it's been a pleasure joining. Great show, man. I love your show, man.
Yeah.
Thanks. And Chris, I'm glad. Interesting story. I posted on Facebook because I was like, hey, I want to get some people that just play fantasy, and he was like, I want to come on. So I'm like, let's do it. And Chris's input has been really good, just coming from like stuff that I didn't know about fantasy and about players. So great input, man. I'm looking forward to having you on in the future as well as we go into next year with the draft and everything.
Well, appreciate it, man. Like I said before, it's great to talk to you again after, however many years it was from depot to now.
Yeah,
it was really fun. I told my wife I really enjoyed doing this. I'm glad I got to meet all y'all guys, talk sports. It was a great time. I really appreciate it.
Yep.
Definitely. Yeah, me and Chris go back probably, I don't know, like 8 years maybe. Like 2000, 15, 16.
I've been my wife 10 years, so before that.
Yeah. So it's been a minute, but definitely it's been great. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Put your email if you haven't already for the league for next year. God bless. God is love. We will be back. Check out all the content. bs3radio.com. Subscribe and click that bell. Peace.
See ya.